Got a little boat. Well, this is a little boat that I kind of hinted to that would be my next build. I was going to try to do it before deer season or early in deer season, but didn't really get around to it, and it's actually still 2025 as of today. I'm sure this video won't get posted until next year. Today is December 19th. Still got a couple weeks of deer hunting left, but I'm bucked out. I had a pretty good season. I didn't kill any monsters, but I shot a doe with my bow pretty early, and then I shot a small buck with my muzzle loader just to put some meat in the freezer. And then during rifle season I shot a pretty decent 8-point, which wasn't nothing spectacular, but you know, I think a respectable buck. My best public land deer, I'll say that. And then about a week ago, I was a little property that I hunt close to my house. It's kind of close to a neighborhood, so I only bow hunt it, and I've been after this one buck all year long, and he finally gave me a chance, and I got him with my bow. Another deer, just, you know, respectable deer, nothing crazy, and I was able to get him. I live in the CWD zone of Tennessee, so if you submit a doe for testing, you earn a bonus buck. So my 3 bucks, I'm done. Freezer's full. I got my bucks, so I'm happy with my deer season. So I thought, why not go ahead and get an early start on this boat. Anyways, let's take a closer look at this boat and maybe go over some of the things that we're going to do to it. Alright, this is a 91 Crestliner 1236. Pretty neat little boat. I like how it is a flat bottom, but it has that V front on it. Not really going to help out a lot in the waters I fish. It actually might hurt stability a little bit, but I guess if you get into some waves, it should help there. I don't know, it just looks cool, so I'm going to go with that. Dude that I got it from was going to convert this to a little bass boat. He said the foam was waterlogged, so he took it all out. Luckily, he saved the tops where he cut them. He actually took this front part off too. Took the foam out of there. I got some Total Boat pour foam. Never used it before. He had this deck, which we're going to get rid of. And you see he had these little hangers for 2x4s that he has mounted in here. I'm going to take those off. And he also has taken the transom out. He said it was rotten. So, or somebody did. They went to a lot of trouble to take the transom out and then put all the cover back on it. But it looks like everything's going to be easy to pop off. The boat itself is in pretty good shape. Looks like the factory color. That dark brown looks like it sat in some really muddy water for a long time. The only really major issues with the body of the boat is this top rail. It's got some big dents in it on both sides. It came with this galvanized trailer. So actually it's a Cox trailer, and it's in pretty daggum good shape. And it's got a jack on it. It takes a 2-inch ball. Safety chains are rusted but usable. Winch works. The winch strap is in good shape. The roller's in good shape. It's missing the bunk brackets and the bunk board. As you can see, the taillights are in perfect condition. Tires are in good shape. We'll check the bearings and make sure they're good. Now the motor is, I think it's an 89 or a 90, that era, Yamaha 99. Now I have not even tried to crank this thing up. I've had it for a while. Of course, the guy that I bought it from said was no issues with it. It is a Yamaha. You guys know that I'm a firm believer in Yamaha motors. So, I mean, that's the whole reason that I bought that boat and trailer, just to get this Yamaha for this boat. The only issue I see with it is the skeg is chipped off at the bottom. But being just a little 99, it's not going to hurt us too bad. I don't think it's going to affect the performance of the boat at all. The only downfall is you're kind of losing a little protection for your prop. I'm not worried about it, is what I'm trying to say. Worried about it running, because you know me. I say don't never buy an outboard unless you hear it running. Here I am. It's like the 10th in a row that I bought that I haven't heard run. I came with a gas tank too. So all in all, I think I got a pretty good little package here. I think after I sold the boat and trailer that came with that, I have a total of $200 in that outboard. So if I had to spend a little bit of money on it, I still should be in the good. But that's what we got. 91 Crestliner 1236 and a Yamaha 99. Excited about this build. It'll be a fun little boat. It'll be decently fun building it since I ain't going to be in a rush for once. Work on it on good days and enjoy it. So today we want to get started on it by just cleaning it up, get that wood out, get them hangers off, the motor off of it, out of the way. Then we'll take this transom apart so we can figure out what size wood we're going to need so we can go ahead and get that. All right, let's get to it. Not too bad for about, I don't know, 3 hours total work. Basically got the trailer done. The only thing we like to do is check the bearings. I mean, I don't know how else to say it other than just to come on outright with it. Let you guys know that my wife left me. But she's coming back today. She went to Nashville for a couple of days. So that's why I've been enjoying this extra space. So what I'm gonna do now, move this trailer somewhere over here, probably move this boat where my Maverick is. Well, I got the boat moved over here, put it on display for everybody that's coming over around Christmas time. That's what my wife gets for leaving me. But what I'm doing now, taking this little wire wheel, like I normally do, I'm just gonna go over all the rivets below the water line. On the side of the boat, I'm just going to go to that middle rib, whatever's below that. All around the boat, I'm going to put some coated on the bottom of this, because I got a gallon of it, I think. Go ahead and fix all this up. This takes a couple days to harden anyways. This is usually a thing that holds me up on every boat. So go ahead and knock it out. Look at these big runners on the bottom of this boat. They're welded to it. I just thought that was kind of neat. First boat I've ever seen designed like this. All Crestliners might be like this. This is the first Crestliner I think I've ever had. So, I don't know, just a little neat thing. The bottom of the boat is completely flat because it's not punched out. Like these ribs are usually punched out in the bottom of the boat. So this one's able to be flat because these are welded to the outside. I mean, I don't know if that makes it any better or not, but a little bit better for laying hydro turf. Alright, go ahead and knock this out. And I might, actually I'm out of acetone, so this is all I could probably do for the day as far as the boat. But I will get me some acetone, wipe all these down, and then go ahead and put a little layer of that coated on here. And we'll be ready to sand the bottom of the boat, which you see, it ain't got much paint on it. Well, the sides got paint, but the bottom of the boat is basically bare aluminum. Basically just be sand to get any kind of impurities off of it, make sure the paint sticks pretty good. It's been several days because it's been cold. It's crap. And this stuff right here, you're not supposed to put it on. It's below 40 degrees. So today, it is actually, I think it's like 41 right now. I'm trying to hurry up and do it because I start my new trimester of school tonight. Not excited about that. And on top of that, I had to work 12s the last 2 days. So I'm getting welcomed into maintenance pretty good. I'm not using 3M 5200. This is like Star Bright's version of it. It's 8200, so it's what, 3,000 more? It's got to be better, right? I don't know. I'm sure it's good enough. Just gonna smear some around all these holes, then put the bolts back in. Make sure everything's gonna be watertight. Very important you wear a black hoodie when you're doing this. Make sure you get some of this all over it so it won't come out. I know I've used just RTV in the past. I'm kind of just, you know, try to use what you got, man. Some things better than others, well, of course. But, well, if you don't have some things and you're wanting to go fishing like soon. So, sometimes you just got to use what you got laying around. Kind of like this. I don't know if this stuff's as good as 5200 or not. I know it's wanting to dry up and clump on me bad. I've only used this thing one time. I actually used this stuff on a red Sear ski boat I did. This is nasty, so I would advise wearing gloves. And once, if it smears out any, which you kind of want it to smear out so you can kind of make sure it seals, come back with some acetone and a rag, it'll wipe up pretty good if you want it to look good. Which I bought boats where somebody just all over there and just put a bolt in, and that stuff's kind of hard to get off. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. Go ahead and all these bolts, put some of this white tar goop on them, and get this transom 100% done. That way we can flip this thing back upside down and get it sanded and ready for paint. It's actually supposed to be really nice tomorrow, and then it's going to rain for 2 days. So I don't know, between work and school, it's going to be rough getting this boat done. So I'm really glad we got a head start on it. All right, let's get to work. All right, dudes, we did most of the prep on getting this thing ready for paint. Sanded the outside with 220 grit. All the little nooks and crannies I did by hand, just like a sheet of sandpaper. Then I washed the whole boat down with soap and water, just like Dawn dish soap. Just something that's got a little degreaser in it. Let it dry, and then my wife helped me move it into the garage, because you really just can't rely on the weather this time of year, as it goes from 70 to 20, and the days it is 70, it's really windy. So I figured the best bet, get this thing done in the garage, even though it's kind of a pain in the butt. Yesterday I primed the spots. I just picked up some self-etching primer from Lowe's, some Rust-Oleum, and hit all the bare spots, not the bottom of the boat, because it's the bottom of the boat. You know, it's going to get scratched up over time regardless. But mainly just did the sides and the very front of the boat where it'll be visible. This morning I hung up my little makeshift paint booth in here, and then I wiped the whole boat down with grease and wax remover. And right before I spray it, I'm going to wipe it all down with the tack cloth. Hopefully everything will be done. We'll be ready to paint. Speaking of paint, I'm going with Sherwin-Williams. I think it's that Chem 400. Yeah, Chem 400 Clear Havoc Tan Flat. Get this from Red Leg Camo. I'll leave a link to it and all the other stuff that I'm using on this boat down below. I haven't used this Havoc Tan Flat, but that's what this camo pattern calls for. So we're going with that. And I'm going to give this Havani electric paint gun another shot. I used this on the Ginu. Not a whole lot of people watched that video. I don't know if it's the timing of the year or I don't know, y'all just didn't want to see me mess with the Gnu. But I redid it. I originally did it blue and sprayed it with a regular gun. And I bought this at Harbor Freight because it was on sale, just to give it a shot. And I didn't read the instructions because that's just how I roll. And I couldn't get the fan right. At the very end, I figured out how to get the fan right, and I was almost out of paint. So I want to try it one more time and see how well it does. Hopefully have enough paint. It's just a half a gallon in a 1 gallon pot. I'm going to thin it down, probably 12 to 15% with some xylene. And hopefully we can get her slicked out and be ready to do some camo. Probably want to do 2 coats, hopefully. Get by with just 2 light coats that'll cover good enough. All right, dudes, let's get the spraying. It turned out all right. The lighting in here sucks. It's early in the morning. All one solid color. All them little dents and dings really jump out at you. This boat is a little more dinged up than I thought originally, but it's, you know, still structurally sound. There ain't no major dents or anything like that in important places. I would like to go ahead and say that I do not like that Avanti paint sprayer. My full conclusion on it after using it 3 different times, 2 out of 3 was rough. Yesterday was rough. I paint the inside of this boat, I'm just going to go back to a regular cup gun. It's, you know, if that's all you can do, or you don't have a compressor, you can't afford a compressor, probably get a small compressor and a cup gun for about what that Avanti paint sprayer is. But for whatever reason you have to go electric, yeah, go ahead and do it. But man, I don't know, I'm just not a fan. It's heavy. How it's situated with the cup on the bottom, it seems like when it's empty, you open it up and it's got a couple ounces of paint left in it, and it just, the fan does not want to do right. I mean, maybe with certain paints, if it's really, really thin, it's a lot better. But this Chem 400, it's a thicker paint, and it I don't know, it's just very splattery. So I don't recommend it, but if that's what you got, go ahead and use it. All right, let's start laying some camo on this thing. Said earlier, I'm using a stencil kit that I've yet to use. Kind of excited about it. What I'm going with is Heirloom. It's kind of the old duck hunting style camo. I've been wanting to use it for a while and finally pulled the trigger and got the kit. I got it from Red Leg and I got the colors that it recommended. It actually has 2 different options for colors. If you want to go by their colors, you can go to Walmart and get whatever colors you want to or wherever. But if you're wanting your camo to match what they have in pictures, they'll list out like what colors they're using. It actually comes with the stencil kit too, like a sheet of paper that'll say. Anyhow, this one has like an original one, which is like a more of a brown, and they also have one I think it's called Timber, which is like more gray colors. I went with the original one, which is brown with kind of like a little orangey brown too. So that's what we're going with. It is a 3 stencil kit. I can't remember if these came in 2 different sizes or not. A lot of their stencil kits will be like regular and large. I always go with large when I can, just because it's a bigger area to do. It's 3 stencils. So I went with the colors they recommended, which the base coat was that Havoc Tan. The first stencil is going to be Express Hazel or Express Brown. The second stencil is Major Brown. I don't think any of these are showing up. And the last one is Harvest Brown. And these are all paints that you get from Red Leg's website too. So I'm not going to be very detailed about this camo job. I'm just going to do it. But I think I'm going to do a standalone video, a little more detailed. And not that I'm the best boat camoer in the world, but I figure why not go ahead and do a little standalone video and share some of the tips and tricks that I've learned over the past few years that's helped mine turn out decent-ish. Because believe me, I've seen a lot of the camo jobs on Marketplace on boats for sale, and some of them are a little shady at best. So if you're interested in that, I'll put it out. Hopefully it'll be a very compressed video, you know, maybe 15 minutes tops. So not going to be very detailed about this. We're going to camo this thing up, and I'll bring you guys back when it's completely done, let you look at it. But if you are interested in that video, it should come out maybe within a week of posting this video. All right, dudes, let's get to work. Well, the outside paint and the camo came out pretty decent. Pretty happy with it. Rebel, do you mind? Now, obviously, we got a lot of work to do on the inside still, but I'm going to have to do it in weird orders. Normally, we go ahead and paint the inside, but I don't want to scratch it all up, and I still got to do that foam stuff. I can't do the foam stuff yet. For one thing, it's too cold. They say if it's really cold outside, you won't get the maximum expansion out of that stuff. And that stuff's expensive, so I don't have to buy more than I have to. And I'm also still kind of scratching my head on what I'm going to do. Smart thing to do would put foam here, here, and here. But I've never said that I was smart. What I'm kind of leaning towards is what you see right here. Excuse me, a couple of my vices in the way. Put 2 hatches right here, but probably not separate them, just be one big storage. Be a good spot to put like your paddle, life jacket, stuff like that. And right here I plan on filling it in with a deck, kind of like I've done before, the piece in the middle, and it'll be 2 pieces of the deck on each side that hinge up. Now this side will be hard to get to because the trolling motor I got is going to be a stowable one. I just kind of threw this up here, just getting an idea of what size metal I need for my trolling motor mount. But anywho's, that's what I think I'm going to do. Went ahead and had to order some really big angle to make these hatches work. Run some angle on both sides, have something to drill to, and then we'll try to beef it up a little bit in the middle. I think we'll put us a seat post like right here so we can have the support of this bulkhead or seat. And then run us some angle up, brace this all up. The only thing I'm worried about is being able to reach the trolling motor. Since this is a V-hull boat, it's going to kind of push it out a good bit. But I'm rambling, scratching my head on what to do. I know that I want to run a piece of aluminum right here to get started. And then I'm waiting on the aluminum from Online Metals that I had to order for this thing and the trolling motor mount. I do plan on pouring foam in here and in the back seat. So I'm just kind of waiting on a nicer day to do that, and I can't really rivet this down until we get it poured, and then I can't do my piece of metal up front until we get it riveted down. So waiting on Mother Nature right now. Luckily I'm not crunched for time, but I'll piddle fart around where I can. It's been exactly 2 weeks since this crap fell, and also my daggum carport fell. I ain't done anything with it yet, but waiting on better weather. And today is supposed to be in the 60s, and I got a little thermometer that's been sitting out here, and it was showing 60 something. So I decided to go steal my wife's heaters, little buddy heater down there, see if I couldn't get this thing up in temperature. You can see we're at 72.4 now. It's Total Boat flotation foam. It says on the back that the range temperature needs to be like 75 to 80 degrees. So I think we're going to get there today. 72, 7, it's almost 73 degrees now. Got everything all taped up. What I plan on doing is part A in one, part B in the other. I think I'm gonna do 56 ounces. This is a gallon each. Now it's kind of hard to measure cubic feet in something that is so wonky, but I come up with 3.6, a rough estimate of cubic feet in this little area. And 4 cubic feet would be, you know, if I filled it up to 64 and 64, that'd be a gallon mixed, you know, total mixed together. So my redneck math tells me maybe 56 will be fine. If we're a little short from the top, that's 100% okay. This stuff says once you pour them together, you have a very short working time. I have a drill with a little mixer attachment. I'm gonna mix it for like 15 seconds and immediately put the mixer. I'm gonna fill that with some acetone so it don't goop it up when we can use it again. Hopefully one pour will get us where we need to go, hopefully. If not, I don't know. I really don't want to buy any more than this. I think this stuff was like 120 bucks for this kit. It's supposed to do 8 cubic feet. So hopefully half and half, give us 1 gallon, we'll do this, or a little less than a gallon. And then maybe the rest will finish that back seat and we can knock it out. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here doing it. Let's see what it does. I think it's done expanding now. It was real slow at first, but then it kind of, you could actually just sit there and watch it rise. But it's done stopped now, I think. It did pretty good. If I'd had this thing more nosedive to begin with, I think it would have been a lot better. So we got a void right here, and it's a little bit more void on this side. I might, when I pour the back, add a little bit right here, but I kind of like how it's not all the way to the very front. I mean, obviously if it was completely full and we had to go carve it all out, it would be one thing, but that's going to be hard to figure out how much we need. But right now I'll be able to pull that piece of tape back, and this boat, you see it's got this channel right here that runs all the way to right here. As you can see, I put me a little tube in there to keep it from coming out. So now I should be able to, and that channel is taped all the way, so I should be able to pull that tube out once this stuff is set good, and then pull that tape back a little bit. That way if any water seeps in the front of this deck, it'll find its way into that channel and end up somewhere right here. There's not going to be foam right here, and eventually make its way to the back of the boat. But what I'm getting at is I don't want water sitting in the front of this with nowhere to go but to have the foam absorb it. So it's kind of blessing in disguise that it didn't go all the way to the front. I think we're going to win on that. Alright, I think that was about as good as we could have hoped for that, other than, like I said, right there. I might just put a little bit to kind of even it out when I do the back, but I'm not going to do the back until next week. I still got a little bit of figuring out of stuff to do back there. So I guess tomorrow I'll be able to take something, a blade, probably a Sawzall blade, and shave that down where it bubbled out a little bit, and then we can go ahead and start finishing this deck up. That's the main reason I wanted to get this part done. Alright, cool. Stuff wasn't that bad to deal with. Be a lot easier if it was, you know, in the spring or summertime, obviously. Alright, I went ahead and poured a little foam up front like I was talking about. I didn't wait and do it when I was doing the back seat. I went ahead and did it the same day. Then once all that was cured, I just took a Sawzall and trimmed it up level with the brace. I'm going to pump the brakes on all that and work on this back here because I need to get this foamed in. But what I'm going to try to do is, as you can see, I got me a hole cut out for a seat base. And some of you guys might have run into this problem before. You just drill a hole and attach one of these seat bases. The aluminum in these boat seats is so thin, if you have too much rocking, it's just going to rip out. So the only way to really secure it good is to bolt it through. And as you see, I went ahead and put me a couple pieces of angle in here. Hindsight, I probably should have moved them out of the way instead of trying to line it up where I could through bolt it, because I think just bolting it right here will be fine, and then if it was just a little bit close to it, it'll give me a little, you know, bit of rigidity for the seat base. I'm not going to put a pedestal here. It's just going to be like a seat that I can move from here to up front. So it's not like I'm going to be up here doing anything crazy. So once I bolt this to this to this, I'm not going to be able to take this off again, and we need to pour foam in here. I've already cut out this hole right here for a cup holder, and I think I'm going to be able to get these nuts on from accessing this hole, and then what I plan on doing is pouring my foam through this hole. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, is go ahead and secure this on. What we need to do is drill out all of our holes too for this, and just like maybe stick some rivets in here to hold everything in place, line everything up, and then take everything back off and then clean up all this and then secure the rivets in. That way, because once we get this in, we ain't gonna be able to clean it with a vacuum cleaner, because you want all this to be clean before you do your pour foam. So I know there's a lot of words to say. We're going to be putting this on here today and attaching the top of this seat. So that's what we're going to be doing. So let's get to doing it. I can't remember if I showed the final look of this or not. I put my closed cell foam under there in 3 different spots all the way across. Then I cut that fiberglass reinforced plastic. It's like an 1/8 inch thick. Put it down. Now, I guess you could use whatever, any kind of plastic, or I mean, you wouldn't probably want to use cardboard, aluminum, whatever. I just had that stuff laying around. I put it down. That way we'll be able to have water go under there instead of just sitting on this foam. This boat, the way it's designed, doesn't have the best drainage I've ever seen in a boat. I'm actually thinking about going in with the drill bit and drilling these out a little bit so the water will be able to flow a little bit better, because that's really the only places that it's going to come through. But anyhow, I got it all taped up with duct tape so it won't leak out. Probably got a few holes I probably need to take care of before I seal this thing up completely. But that should be it. I got this little piece of aluminum. I cut some holes out to brace this up. I got those all wrapped in duct tapes to keep some foam from coming up in there. I got these all siliconed up, so should be good. Go ahead and tape them holes up before I forget, and go ahead and put this seat top on for good, hopefully, and then bolt that seat base down. That went fairly well. It's just going to be hydro turf anyway, so I think it'll be fine. Now, as that's sitting there curing, I'm going to go ahead and start working on this deck, which I've kind of started on, at least cutting stuff out. I'm using 1/8 inch angle for pretty much everything up here. It's going to be load bearing. I got an 1/8 inch, I think it's 1x1, run across here, and I dropped it down the width of the material I'm going to be using for the top. Did the same thing up here. Then I went ahead and marked center on my bench, marked center on this seat post, and now I know the width that my angle going across this way needs to be. So I'm going to rivet that in like that, get it squared up front, same distance, and then I'm going to come back with another piece to make like a T. After I get that done, get them measurements, I can figure out where my bottom pieces need to be. I went ahead and put this little, this is just 1/16. I riveted it to the bottom. I think it's 3/4, just some scrap I had. It was the perfect size to match these ribs. And I've got this stuff laying around. I'm gonna use it, rivet it to these ribs right here and to the back, something like that. Once I get the bottom and the top done, I'll be able to come in here with like some studs, probably 4 on each of these braces. That should strengthen the center section. That's mainly the spots you're gonna be stepping on, or at least I'm gonna be stepping on. And I'm hoping to fit my battery in this same little slot. So I gotta be mindful of where I put these. So I'll probably put them this direction, facing that way, so I can get that battery in and out if I ever have to. This hatch will be the easier one to open. As you see, I got my trolling motor mocked up over there. That hatch right there is mainly going to be hiding my wiring and stuff. Probably put stuff that I'm not going to use too much in there too, like life jackets. And over here, I'll have my important stuff. Hindsight, I wish I would have put these daggum rod holders on that side. I just wasn't thinking. But hey, next time, I'll probably forget it too. Then once we get this all done, the center part, I'm going to go in with some more on the sides. I haven't cut these yet. They'll go at an angle like this, going under my 2 pieces front and back. Do that on both sides, and that should be plenty. I mean, if you want to, which I might put a little scrap piece of angle going down just for a little extra support in both of these corners and tie it into the fronts of the seats. So that's what I'm gonna be doing now, is getting all this stuff done. Wish me luck. While I was idle, not doing much, I went ahead and took the lower unit off this thing. The impeller was bad, and I broke a gasket. So I ordered a new impeller, a new gasket, put them in. I actually cleaned the lower unit up. I think this motor's been in salt water before. It's kind of oxidized, kind of crunchy around the bottom part of it, but nothing that looks like it's going to keep us from using the boat in the lower unit. I took the carb off, cleaned it real good, and I put a new fuel filter on it. Anyhow, here we are. We got it all back together. I just hooked the gas up, primed it, and I really hope this thing runs, because that's really going to suck and it's going to throw us back a little bit on this boat build. Let's see what she's got. Neutral. Let's go ahead and try to troubleshoot that real quick. got most of the framing done. I actually got my lids cut out too on that center piece. And right about here, my microphone decided to cut out on me, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. So I'm going to have to try and remember all the cool stuff I was saying right here in this part of the video. I think I said something about solving world hunger and my plans to end all the foreign wars. Also, it's a really windy day, and I'm not hoping for the best. I'm using a new gun. This inside of the boat has a rough texture from the factory anyways, so I think it's going to look okay regardless. I just want to go ahead and paint the inside now, because put the lids on, it's going to be hard to get to some of these nooks and crannies. So that's what I plan on doing, and also plan on spraying the outboard. I went ahead and got it sanded down, got all the decals off, tried to degrease it the best I could, taped up spots that I didn't want to get painted, and I think it's going to turn out okay. The Yamaha gray just isn't going to match too good with the boat. The cow took a lot of sanding too, but we're going to make it look good. If you don't like it, take it up with the HR department, who is right there. I don't remember what her email is. Inside paint turned out pretty decent, considering I was using a new gun. Had to thin it out more than usual. I didn't take any measurements though, so I'm not exactly sure what to tell you. Today, I'm gonna go ahead and try to finish this deck up. Got a little bit of framing left to do. I'm gonna take another piece of 1/8 inch angle, put here, which this is just a scrap piece. Then might go in with some filler pieces over here. Need to figure out where I'm going to put this at. I don't know if I want to put it all the way back here, because that's going to be a far reach to the trolling motor, or move it up just a hair, maybe somewhere like that. I can't get it too close because I'll be getting into my battery. I don't know. I'll scratch my head on that a little bit. But once I figure that out, I'll probably put me a brace or two in there just for a little extra support. But the reason I'm putting this here, I had to go back and watch one of my old videos to figure out how I even did this last time. We're going to put our hinge right here, and then the bottom part of the hinge will be on the top of the hatch, so we can open and close it. Plus, we got like a lip right here anyways. We need to build it up, so we'll probably put a full piece here. I might put a couple little filler plates in there to help keep all that even. And then we need to attach the centerpiece, then get these hatches done. Get done with all this today. That'll be pretty good. And that's what I was talking about. I went ahead and just put some rivets in it, because I got some. So I did that on the last 12-foot boat that I did a deck like this on, and it seemed to work pretty good, so why not do it again? Sorry I'm not filming me do this stuff. It's kind of a pain in the butt, and I'm not overly confident in how I'm doing it. Like I said, to go look at one of my previous videos to even see how I'm doing it. But put this piece of angle in, then I figured out where my hinge needed to go, popped some rivets in it, bent the hinge over, put the lid on, and went in from this side with the Sharpie and marked like 3 holes. Once I got them drilled and riveted on, I was able to drill the rest and put some rivets in there. And there we go. Pretty cheap way to do a hatch. All right, go ahead and knock this other side out, and then we'll cut that centerpiece. Then we'll almost be done. Alright, I done prepped this boat for the hydro turf. I scuffed everything up with the Scotch-Brite, and then I vacuumed the dust of that up, and then I used some warm soapy water to try to clean it up a little bit. And this morning I went over everything with a little bit of acetone. I've tried different ways of doing this hydro turf. I've made cardboard templates before. I've done 1,000 measurements and write it down. And honestly, probably not the best way to do it, but it works out for me is I'll just lay it up here and then trim it out. Especially like these holes that I have, just lay it up there, trim it out. Kind of is hard to trim hatches like this out to keep it straight, but I'm gonna do as best I can. We're gonna have to trim out a little bit fatter for the hinges because they have to have a little bit of movement on them, and then put it up here and start working it back. We're gonna have a little bit of a gap on each side because I want to say it's like 49 inches to the widest point and the hydro turf is 48. So we'll have to go back in with some little filler strips, but with the color I'm going with, it should be fine. It's almost the same color as the boat. We'll make it work. It's actual hydro turf brand too. So all right, let's get to work. We got a lot to do and not a whole lot of time. Well, it ain't the best hydro turf job I've done, which is a common theme. I don't know if I've ever done just a good job. But if Bob Ross taught me anything, you just turn an accident into a happy accident. So we definitely Bob Ross some stuff. But we got this deck and the back seat done. All we like is right here. Should be relatively easy whenever that stuff comes in. All right, now on to these little latches that I've already cut out. I've used these little Rebel, chill out. I've used these little latches before. Got them on Amazon. It's got a little cup, goes on there, screws into it. It actually comes with a little catch that you can mount somehow like that. If y'all can see that, or however you need to do it. I found out where my angle was going to hit, and I took a 2-inch hole saw, which worked for these latches, which I'll link them down below. Cut it out. Also cut part of my tubing because I forgot about it, and just pop them in. They come with short screws and long screws depending on what you're going to be mounting them to. And if my measurements were right, should catch. I have no way of really showing y'all that it's getting latched, but it is. Got blood on my hydroturf already. You know, crazy thing, who would have thought? Razor knives are pretty sharp. Alright, do the other side, we'll be done with them. Alright, now that we got the hydroturf done-ish, and turn our attention to my homemade trolling motor mount. Now this top plate is 1/8 inch aluminum I had laying around, and this top rail is on a slight angle and the floor is kind of level-ish. So I marked out where the top rail is and I whooped on it with a sledgehammer. If you can see how it's bent over a little bit, that way it ain't all kicked up like this. It's a little more level when we lay it down there. Now I ordered this aluminum right here. Can't remember what it is. It's 3 by 3 by 1/8 of an inch. I've already attached this piece to my top plate, and I got this one cut out basically the same angle as the boat here and the boat going up. And it ain't perfect, but ain't nothing I'm doing perfect. So what we need to do is get our pieces where they need to go. I got some clamps I'm going to clamp this with, hold it in place, and I get my bottom plate where it needs to go. And I'm going to put me some rivets in here. I got some long 3/16 rivets. Maybe put 4 of them right here to secure this bottom. Then we can lay this top back up here, wherever it needs to go. And then I'm going to take a measurement from the floor up to here and try to match it back here. I'll probably have to push this down a little bit because it's still at a slight incline. I want this to be halfway level. As you can see, I already marked it, but that was before we had a hydro turf, so now my line is off. So we'll redo that. But then, before we actually attach this, I'm going to go ahead and bolt my trolling motor to this so we can get it real good and tight. We lay it up here, and it should be good to go. In theory. Don't have any snags. That's what I'm going to be doing, in case any of you guys want to know. You saw earlier in the video, I've already had the trolling motor up here. I'll make sure it ain't like hanging out the side of the boat when it's stowed. So I got all that right, I think. All I gotta do is put it together now. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put a coat of paint on this. I think I'm gonna do the same color as the seat bases, which y'all might have seen yet. It's the first color brown on the camo. I think it's called Express Brown or something like that. But that's what color I'm gonna paint this. And it's actually the same color I'm gonna paint the top rail all the way around. So this will match this. But I need to paint this now, so I don't gotta worry about getting overspray on the hydro turf. Make sense? Probably not. But we're gonna see what we come up with. Well, I specifically got this battery because it was the cheapest one I could find. That was a Life Po 4 and it was 50 amp hour. So we'll see how that works out. 50 amp hour, I know most people go with hundreds, but we're going with 50. I've done it before, it seems to be fine. You ain't trolling all day long. 50 amp hour, you know, it works for me, I'll say that. And they're like really cheap and lightweight. I got this little breaker wired to the battery, to the trolling motor. With any luck, trolling motor works. Let's see. Cool. Picked this little Lowrance up last year at Walmart. It was on sale. I don't even remember how much it was, like 50 bucks or something. Never had anything to put it on, so Lowrance Hook 4X. Also got this little mount right here. I think it's supposed to be for a kayak, but I thought it would be cool. Kind of lift it up a little bit, so maybe I can see it a little bit better from the back of the boat. I don't know. We'll see how well it does. Anyhow, I got it all wired up. See if she works. Oh, cool. Start simulator. Nah, I had a Lowrance one time. Didn't really like it. Thought they were a little too complicated for me. Well, come on. We ain't showing no depth. That's my transducer's hanging right there at the back of the boat. I got one of them stern pads for it. I've already got it put on, but I don't want to run it until we get this top rail painted. And I guess that's basically all we got left to do, other than clean up every tool that I own, because I have every tool that I own out to work on this boat. And get all this stuff cleaned up, get this thing taped off. We got a lot done today. I think we'll be able to finish by Friday, unless something crazy happens. All right, dudes, pretty much done with the little Crestliner 1236. Very happy with the way it came out. Gonna be a fun little boat. There is a couple things that I want to do differently. This video is just getting really long in the tooth, so I'm gonna save that for another video potentially. It's mainly the motor, and there's nothing wrong with the motor itself. It runs really good. It's 20 mile an hour top speed and a steady 19. Very good performance, but I'm getting a lot of splashback at the transom, the water splashing up. A little bit of it's coming in. It's nothing like concerning me of that aspect, but it also, the cavitation plate is about an inch, inch and a half lower than the bottom of the boat. And I'm hoping by adding a jack plate to this thing, get that motor up about 2 inches, should help the performance out a good bit, eliminate a lot of that backsplash. I'm not sure if it's going to help the top speed or not, but I actually have what I think to be the conversion stuff to turn this 9.9 into a 15. Not that I'm a speed freak by any means, but you know, it'll be something different that I've never done before, so I might explore that too in the next video. And also there's a bunch of little things in this boat that I didn't go over in this video. I don't know if you guys noticed, I got a bimini top. I had to create some brackets to make it work right. I also added an anchor pole to it and I had to make some little brackets. Maybe I'll show that stuff. A couple of little things that I want to tweak and change on the boat. I think there is a few other things that I did that I didn't mention in the video. Also, I filmed doing the camo a little bit more detailed. It'll be the next video that I drop, maybe next week. It shouldn't take very long to edit it. If any of you guys are interested in that, just a few tips and tricks that I might be able to give you guys for, you know, your first or second camo job. If you've done a bunch of camo jobs, you might pick up one thing, but if you're interested in doing a camo job for the first time, I could probably save you a lot of trouble and maybe give you a few pointers. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. I'm not the best boat camo painter out there, but I have messed up a lot, and I could at least tell you what I've messed up. So that's coming. I've got another boat that I'm going to start working on. Well, finish working on. Hopefully, I started it last year, and it's just been one of the boats that I put on the back burner until I don't have anything else to do. And then another video on the jack plate. And after that, I'll be looking for a new project. Oh yeah, we got the project of digging my other two boats out and taking a look at the damage of that Sears boat and seeing if it's going to be salvageable or just need to haul it off to the dump and part out what I can. But that's going to be it for this video. I really appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next one.